Hello, is this thing on? Hi, and welcome to the party's new campaign. Welcome to Kotiset. Um, we are a bunch of D&D 5th edition players, and we are exploring a world that I have created. My name is Gemma Hooper, at Blue Jay Gliding on Twitter, and I am the DM for these shenanigans. Let's bring in everyone else to say hello.
Hi, I'm Shadmura. I also go by Shadmura on Twitter, and I'll be playing as the human barbarian.
Okay. And Bria.
Hey, I'm Nesama-chan or Mimic Sama-chan on Twitter, and I'm going to be playing Shana, the half-elf fighter. Fighter. And apparently having some issues tonight.
Okay. And Andy.
Well, I'm Andy. I'm playing Spike the Paladin. I'm not sure whether that's actually going to be a good influence or a bad influence, but we'll see. And looking forward to getting started.
Cool. All right. Well, let's bring people up to speed quickly. So far, we've had about 3.5 sessions of this game where people have been working through the process of getting away from a life of slavery and occasional casual torture, etc., and have found themselves whisked away by a group of people from a distant kingdom called Kotiset. There they have been celebrated as emancipated slaves due to a history of slavery in Kotiset that has now been overcome. They have, in Kordash rather. Kordash is a very strongly emancipated kingdom, and they are big fans of helping out people who have been in slavery. However, you have a sense that the reason you have been whisked away by these people from the island chain of the Shoels has little to do with the general preference against slavery that is dominant in Kotiset. You believe, however, that somehow the mad ravings of a half orc, of an orc shaman in the Shoels named Jukosh might have marked you as fate touched in some way. As a result, you have had a very lucky go of things so far. You've been picked up by the Kordashians, you've been taken to their capital city, Kordash, and you have been offered an education. Andy's character Spike has trained in the paladinic arts over in the neighbouring kingdom of Ald. Shana's Bria's character Shana has learned the ways of the warrior and is now a fighter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And Shad, who has been relatively new to the party, this is his second session, has been trained as a skirmisher by the Kordashian Military Academy and is mechanically playing a barbarian. So, at the end of the final graduation ceremony, where you're all about to complete your final studies, a strange emergency seems to have cropped up, and you've received word that dozens of ships and boats have been starting to arrive at the docks in Kordash, and many of them appear to be carrying people from the Shoels. Your former slavers seem to be here as refugees. You've been asked to go down to the docks and see what you can do to help. So that's where we pick up. you have the opportunity to return to your lodgings and gear up with whatever weapons and armor might be required for a mission of this sort of importance. And if you have any other specific equipment or um, or character questions before we get started on your arrival to the mission at the docks, please let me know now.
I'm all set.
I'm good.
And Shana?
I'm supposed to have a sword.
Yeah, you should have a sword.
Okay.
If you didn't have one, you can add one.
Oh wait, did I pick daggers instead? I picked daggers.
You as a fighter, you are proficient in all weapons, so you can add whatever weapons you want.
A regular longsword. Okay.
Yep, so you can add a long sword to your attacks, that sort of thing, or a warhammer, or a battle axe, or whatever suits your fancy. Okay, so if we can transition to the map screen.
It's showing what I see in Roll20.
Yep. Let's have a look. Okay, so we might need to scroll out a little bit to pick up the map that we've just transitioned to.
Yep.
Or in, maybe?
I just have a white block from both of my logins.
I don't see a map.
I do see a map.
Interesting.
Let me transition back to the big map, and then we'll do that transition again. Hang on. I know what the problem might be. Oh no, there shouldn't be a fog of war on this particular map. And there isn't. So it should be fine.
Well, let's try this over on this one. All right. I just have to reload the browser here.
Okay. There we go. So now you can scroll in on that. And there we go. Perfect. Okay, so let us proceed with putting some people on those maps. So basically, you get to the warehouse district, and there are many, many soldiers gathered in the warehouse district just before you reach the docks. And you have been asked to check in with Captain Yuroshenko. He is a human fighter who is a fairly senior officer in the Kardashian army. And he drags you over to a warehouse area and gets you set up with a commander who is sort of not really particularly interested in your presence, sort of acknowledges you briefly and says, okay, some more recruits, cool, very helpful. All right, well, we will have you help out at the docks themselves. We're looking to find out why people have arrived here, and as you have some experience with these orcs, we hope you might. Well, you've been given some written orders that sort of explain that you've had some interactions with the Shoelian orcs in the past, and they are quite happy for you to provide some assistance. And basically, when you get to the docks, there's lots and lots of orcs lined up. There are orcs and half orcs. They look emaciated though. They look really, really, really rough around the edges. And they are being marshalled by a group of Kardashian knights. And
Gosh, it's a lot of ships.
That's a lot of orcs.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, many and the many.
So what are our orders exactly?
You have been asked to identify what's brought these people here.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So I guess
Is there any of the new arrivals that appear to be more in charge or even more fit? Not quite as malnourished and maltreated as the rest?
Well, before we get there, let's get you a rough idea of what you're seeing at the dock. So there's a couple of officers at the head of the jetty or the wharf where these boats have arrived, and there's one gentleman standing in the middle of all that who appears to be a somehow you get a sense that people are deferring to him, that he's in charge.
Okay.
You see that there's plenty of other soldiers around. They will appear on the map in a moment, but in the meantime, imagine that there are soldiers swarming all over the docks and keeping people in the appropriate locations. There are many there are lots of lots of soldiers, as I said. Sorry, there's some archers around, sort of keeping the distance and keeping bows trained on the orcs. But there are also soldiers who are helping them off the boats, and it's not just orc warriors. There's also lots of women and children, and quite a number of slaves who've been brought with them as well. So there are 10 groups of orcs on the dock. Let me know which number. So we'll start at this group, then number 1, and then we'll go around the dock to number 10 over this side.
Okay.
You guys just want to start with number 1 and just like kind of start asking questions and work our way around, or do you just want to like
out of group
split up at all?
Out of groups 1 and let's say 10, does one of them look to be more like a boatload of previous slaves, or more of a boatload of possibly soldiers and such?
You could make a perception check for that.
I shall look as well to see if there's.
Yep.
See if
So make a perception check.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. So it's a little hard to tell. There's a lot of people around. You can't really tell. Like there is some bleed between the groups on different different wharves. Areas of the wharf.
Okay.
Lacking anything better, just start with group 1, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Just make it
Okay.
around.
Said over here, this one's group 1.
Yeah. I'll try to keep to the edge to keep an eye on them, make sure nothing goes wrong.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and like ask whoever this one is, I guess, like, hey, what are you guys doing here? What brought you here?
So make me a persuasion check. Well, actually, how are you going about asking them? Are you sort of demanding the information, or are you just asking nicely?
I'm kind of just asking nicely, because obviously they've been through something, so there's no point in shouting.
Yeah. Okay.
I only rolled a 10 though.
Okay. Yeah, you can't really seem to get a lot of coherent sense. There's just a lot of incoherent rambling about demons and monsters, and they chased us, and the winged things, and it all sounds a bit unhinged, to be honest.
What's their boat look like? Like, does it look fairly seaworthy, or does it look like it's been through the ringer too?
There's a mix of different boats in various conditions, but most of them look pretty beat up. Most of them look like they've had sails torn and sort of hastily patched up in some sort of manner to render them seaworthy again. Like this whole area is a bit of a shambles. It's pretty chaotic. There's lots and lots of soldiers. There's lots and lots of orcs, but the boats themselves, they're looking pretty rough, as if they've been through something pretty extreme, but you couldn't tell off the top of your head what. I mean,
Can I?
if someone wants to make me a nature check,
I will. Yeah. There we go. Huh. Something comes to mind.
I'm not gonna bother.
I'm obviously at a loss.
yeah. Okay, so you look at the sails, Shad, and you notice that the sails seem to have been torn by something with sort of a set of claws. The tears in the sails follow a sort of line that goes about 1 meter long, so about 3 feet, 3.5 feet, and they seem to be spaced at about 2 to 3 inches apart. So you would guess that the sails are pretty. Sorry, the claws that slashed at these sails were pretty sizable. You couldn't think of a creature off the top of your head that would be immediately capable of doing that sort of thing.
Are dragons like not a thing?
Dragons are a thing.
Okay,
Well,
and we wouldn't
actually, no. You
immediately-
wouldn't. You haven't heard of dragons, really?
Like not even stories or anything?
Yeah, I was
Not
wondering.
not on the show else. And to be honest, the last time there were stories about dragons doing the rounds was probably 300 to 400 years ago. You could make a history check regarding dragons and whether you did any saw it. Like anyone who went to the Bardic College could do a sort of history check, but
Oh, we know what kind of night this is gonna be.
you get
Can we just
those
fight?
rolls out of the way early. If you've heard of dragons at all, and this would apply to Shad, you would know that they are huge beasts, and if they had claws that were doing this sort of damage to sails, you suspect that the sails would have just been burnt to a crisp, because from what you've read about dragons, there's only one that's really documented in the history you remember, and it was a red dragon.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the next group? Maybe we'll have better luck with them.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm gonna look for like the most coherent person there,
Okay.
if possible.
Most coherent soldier or most coherent member of the group? Like evacuee.
Whoever like appears to be like coming from. Not. I don't want to talk to any of like the soldiers.
Yeah,
They
sure.
don't know what's going on either.
No.
So is that like investigation or just perception? I mean, it's modifier
Well,
either way.
it'd be an insight check to identify which of them would be the most coherent.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
this guy over here who seems to be hanging back and watching what's going on, he seems to be the least phased by what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to like approach him very gently, basically. Just like,
Okay.
hey.
So you're going to move over to here then?
Yeah. I can I can't really see the map because I got my sheet up. Okay. So you said which person is it?
This guy here. I've
Okay.
actually moved your
Okay.
token
Okay.
over.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
took her spot to keep the peace, so to speak.
There's no one seems to be putting up any resistance. Any weapons that they've had have been piled up on the dock near the soldiers. They seem a lot more
Is
focused
there
on.
anywhere that seems
Sorry, they're a lot more
quiet?
focused on getting food than they are on food and shelter than they are on causing any sort of trouble.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just trying to stay out of the way and
Sure.
not
Okay.
try to cut.
Yeah. The way you described it sounded like you were
Yeah.
taking a more aggressive posture.
Oh, no, 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 no. More of a firm stance, but nothing forward, so to speak. Just,
Sure. Okay, but these people look beaten.
Yeah.
Like they've been through stuff that no one should ever have to, and to be honest, they're quite heavily outnumbered. So you were going to speak to this guy, Sean?
Um, is it like super loud here? I'm assuming.
No. There's an occasional exchange of commands and acknowledgement thereof from the folks who, the officers and the soldiers giving instructions to the evacuees, but there's not really, it's more like an occasional bark command, like next and
Okay.
that sort of thing. It's not super noisy.
All right. In that case, I'm going to um sort of gently get his attention, like, excuse me, could I ask you a few questions?
He sighs. I guess. What do you want to know?
Um, everyone seems a bit shaken. I've heard some interesting stories, but I was hoping to get something a little more coherent. I was hoping you could help me sort of piece together what happened here.
Yeah. Okay. So you might have heard about. No, you wouldn't have. You're not from the show else. Look, there were some slaves that somehow got taken away by a bunch of people. We don't know exactly where they were from. There's rumors that they were from Kotiset. Sorry, from Kordash. Is that where we are, by the way?
Yeah.
Like, we just found landfall at the first city we could reach.
yes.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah,
So
good,
we're in Kordash.
good
That's
job.
good to know.
Your former slave?
No. No, it's one of
Okay.
the guards at one of the camps.
Hmm.
Anyway, so when the other group got taken, word got up to what's his name? Big boss guy, who is give me a moment. Skorgas. Skorgan? Skorga. Yeah. So when Skorgar, who's the sort of king of the Shoels, I guess you'd call him, when he found out that some slaves had escaped, like this had never happened before, he took it as a personal affront. So he got some witch to summon creatures to go after them.
Smart.
Yeah, the problem is those creatures didn't come on their own, so there was some sort of gateway to another place, and other stuff came through, and the other stuff, I don't know, best way to describe them I can think of is fiends of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
They came through and just started tearing the whole place up and eating everything and everyone. And the word got around that this was happening, and a few of us managed to get away. But the flyers came after us, and we managed to kill a few of them, but they didn't seem to be particularly easy to kill, and they killed a lot of us. They damaged a lot of boats. They sank a lot of boats. It was all just really, really, really terrible.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right. You go ahead and go get some food. Thank you.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, over there.
Our soldiers have been telling us to stay put for now.
Okay, just do whatever they say, I guess. I thought that they were going to do it food things or something. Sorry. Yeah.
Look, as they're sort of going through, making sure each of the orcs is unarmed, they're sort of taking him away in small groups off to the warehouse up this sort of direction at the top of the map.
Were you guys following the lead of one ship? Is there a person, one of the ships that was the lead?
Not really. We just tried to keep the ships as close together as we could, because at least then we, if one of the flyers was attacking one of the ships, the rest of the ships could fire on it. You can see that this is just one of about 4 wharves that are all full of these sorts of ships.
Jeez.
When was the last time you were attacked?
About a month ago. They seemed to run out of steam once they got about, I don't know, about a month away from the Isles, when their numbers started to thin out and they couldn't take other people away for food. I guess maybe there was some sort of balance that hit where they couldn't continue on without falling into the sea or something like that. I don't know. They look like, they're killable. They're mortal beings of sorts, but they do have insane stamina and insane hunger. Like, if one of these flyers took a person off the boat, they'd basically fly off about 500-600 yards and just devour them whole. It was never a pretty thing to watch.
Okay.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, and try seeing it like every day for a month, month and a half, 2 months. Like, we lost track of the days. It seems about midsummer, is that right? You guys know that it is, because that's when the graduation ceremonies happen.
Excellent.
Okay. Good.
Is
I'm
this
glad we
during
know.
the day, or is this towards the evening?
With the ball is an evening thing, so this is about like midnight by now. Well, actually no, less midnight, more 11, 10:30, 11 o'clock sort of thing.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, be patient, follow
Well,
the
I think
instructions,
sums
and
it up.
we'll hopefully get you at some place dry and safe.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Mm.
We'll do that. Do you know if? Oh, never mind. I was going to ask if you happen to know what happened to the group that were picked up, but that all happened like years ago now. So
Oh yeah, that was us
what?
actually. So thanks for letting us know. Anyway,
He.
bye.
Hang on.
And I kind of start
Hang on.
walking off.
Hang on. Before you do
No,
that,
what?
no, leave your token where it is. In announcing that, he's going to throw himself at you.
Oh, okay.
You were the cause of all of this. Roll initiative, please.
Oh dear.
What?
Just her?
Just her.
me.
Unless
Oh.
any of the others
Where's my
want to
initiative?
jump in.
I shall assist.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
So 16.
oh, I forgot to select my token for that. Or did I? No, I'm good.
I forgot to.
Okay.
And
That was really
when
unnecessary, sir.
he yells out, "That's all because of you," 2 other orcs go, "What? It's them."
What? Okay, come on. That's not fair. I didn't summon anything. I did not summon a damn thing. Okay, you should be blaming that king dude.
They should be, but they're not.
Are these unarmed orcs or?
They're unarmed at the moment.
Okay then.
Can I just put him in a sleeper hold or something? I don't
Well,
wanna
you
kill
could.
him.
You would have to grapple him to do that, or you could just punch him in the face. Like they're all
Okay.
looking pretty fatigued.
Yeah, just put him to sleep. What do you want me to roll?
Okay, so you have first turn. So this is a grapple check if you're going to put him in a sleeper hold.
Okay. Athletics?
Yep, athletics.
Eh. So that's an 11.
It's enough. You gather him into a sleeper hold. This guy here, though, starts trying to pry your arm away. Before he can do that, this guy is trying to engage Spike.
Okay.
Would I happen to be next?
Shad, you are next, so yes.
I'll try to stop the orc and also do a grapple with him to get him down onto the dock.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Much better.
Oops.
And I'll turn my head and say to Spike, "Help Shauna."
So yeah, you successfully grapple that guy. Spike, if you're going to act in this round, I need an initiative roll from you, which means clicking on your token and.
He did roll it.
Yeah, but it wasn't attached to my token.
Ah,
Oh, sorry.
I got to 5.
So just roll it again.
Okay.
And I'll update it on the thing. Okay. There we go.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
So, Spike, your turn.
So I'm
So
gonna.
I think
So
this guy
Shana's
is the
got
one.
this one grappled. This
Okay.
one is the one that's free and looking to try and help his friend.
Yeah, I go over there and try and yank them out of the fray.
Okay.
I guess
As
roll.
you do that, this guy, while he's grappled, is still capable of trying to kick out at you. He tries to do that
Alright.
as a attack of opportunity, basically.
Does he have trouble doing that though?
He's gonna have problems getting through an armor class of 17, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a
Yeah.
1.
Yep.
Woof.
Oof.
Yeah, so he kind of lashes out with a foot, and both feet sort of his other foot slips out from under him, and he's sort of really off balance and will be treated as prone for the next round. So Spike, complete your turn, please.
I wanna like grab him and like
Grapple.
I don't want to hold on to him. I just want to like fling him out of the way.
Okay, so like a shove check.
Yeah.
Same roll, so it's athletics.
Okay. 23.
Yeah.
Roll for shove.
Oof.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to resist that. So you just grab him and fling him this way.
Yep.
Okay, and he's now looking that way and a bit confused. And actually stumbles to the ground and he's prone. So, top of the orc tries to break the grapple.
Which one? Oh,
Both
okay.
of them.
The one that's with me. Oh, both. Oh.
So another athletics check.
So the first one was to break Shana's hold. You need to make another athletics check to retain your grapples.
Oh, yeah.
We did not miss
Yep.
lift day.
No problem.
Not today.
All right. Seeing this scuffle, a few of the other orcs start looking over with concern at their comrades, and they see you two sort of just basically choking two dudes out.
We're just trying to we're trying to hold them down to.
Yep,
And then
I'm
kind
simply
of going
saying
like this.
that
Okay.
these guys don't know what's happened,
Okay.
nor do these guys, but they've
We should
seen that
probably
something's
start
happened,
shouting like, they attacked
and
us.
you guys are actually choking out a couple of their friends. So I want to know how you're responding to that. Like, it'll be trivial thing from this point to choke out the guys that are there. But how are you stopping this whole thing from escalating?
It's not my turn yet, so I'll let Shauna
So-
go first.
Well,
For me,
yeah.
at least.
I mean,
As
basically,
soon as
we're
he,
still
like,
in.
goes limp.
Mhm.
We're still in combat order.
Yeah, we're still in initiative order, so you don't need to tell me, Shad, that
I was.
it's not your turn,
I'm not sure.
because the turn order should appear on your screen in Roll20.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Had a window covered over it.
Okay.
All right. So as soon as he goes like limp, I'm gonna sort of like lay him down, like kind of gently, and sort of like put my hands up and be like,
Okay, it's
Self-defense.
gonna take about 2 combat rounds for you to choke him out. I'm not gonna make you any do any further checks to do that. But
Oh, okay.
like if you're going to choke someone out in under a round, you're effectively trying to strangle them, which means breaking the hyoid bone and crushing the windpipe.
Yeah, I don't want to kill him.
So you've
I
got
guess
this guy in
he's
a
still
chokehold.
conscious, so he can hear me, right?
Yeah, you've still got him in a chokehold. He's not blacked out yet. He's starting to go a little red in the face.
Okay,
But he's
okay, I'm
off
gonna be like,
balance, and he's not going to be able to break the hold.
okay. So I guess what I'm gonna say is stop fighting. We didn't cause this. We're gonna help you, but you have to let us. Like, not if you're
Okay,
gonna.
make a persuasion check. Or is this a intimidation or persuasion? Like, are you ordering him to do this, like in a commanding tone, or are you say, "Hey, dude, just chill. It's all good."
That's not very commanding. Like, she's got the dude in a chokehold. Would I get like advantage on an intimidation or
No, he's incensed.
no? No. No, all right. I'm just gonna do persuasion then, cause like I said, I'm not trying to scare him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Okay. Did it only go the once? So just the first one, I guess. 11. Okay.
At this point, his willpower is pretty weak, and he just sort of goes limp and says, "Okay, I'm stopping.
All right. I'm gonna like slowly, but I'm gonna like release the pressure and kind of like.
Okay, so that's your turn. Before you start releasing the pressure, we're going to move to Shad.
Hearing that, I'll also try to persuade the orc that I'm currently holding down to.
Okay, give me your persuasion check. What are you actually saying to him?
We are not your enemies. We want to help you, but we need you to stand down, please.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Nice.
Oof.
There we go.
Oof.
He struggles against you some more. He's not finished.
Oh no.
He basically yells out, "No, you're the ones. You started this." And that gets the attention of a few of these guys and a few of these guys. And they say, "What do you mean they started this?" And they start moving out of line.
Oh no.
Is there anything else I'm still able to do during my turn? Or was that my whole turn?
No, that was your turn.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
Unless you wanted to take a bonus action to kill him with a dagger or something like that.
No. I'm trying to hold off on violence until it's absolutely necessary.
Okay. So you don't consider choking a guy violence?
He's currently prone at this point. I'm just kind of sitting on top of him, trying to keep him in place. One sec.
Okay, Andy.
I am going to stride over to here. To my eyes, the more yellow ones down the middle, are these our guards or refugees?
Yeah, the orangey guys are the soldiers. The guys with the red caps on are officers. And this guy here, you're not sure exactly what his role is. He seems to be reasonably well armored and seems to be in charge, but he's not actually giving any orders. He's just sort of looking around, surveying things, and he's now that all this is starting to kick off, he's looking at you guys with fairly keen interest.
So in all of my paladini training, as I'm striding over here, I'm saying, calm down, follow orders, and being as, frankly, brusque and as intimidating as I can for trying to get people to back off.
Alrighty. These guys, so you're doing that in an intimidating way or a persuading way?
Very intimidating.
Alrighty, let's have that intimidating roll.
Well, at least I think I am.
Come on, guys.
Okay.
One of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guy here backs off back to the line. The others actually seem more aggro, and they start looking towards the pile of weapons with side eyes. At that, these guys start paying a bit of attention, and a few of them start moving over this way. A couple of these guys move up to their orcs. And a couple of these guys start moving up as well. So the tinderbox is lit. Like all of the soldier guys now have weapons drawn.
Of course they do.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think he'd attack me. He just made like the worst logical leap possible. Like,
What? We've just been spending 4 weeks at sea, 8 to 10 weeks at sea because some bunch of random slaves got away and all
and then
crap
they
got
find
unleashed
us.
on us because of that. Seems pretty logical to me.
Shit. I can't even do magic.
No, I understand that from your perspective, you're an innocent in this, but from their perspective, you're the
I would like
cause
to
of
think that Shauna is like basically just saying this shit out
their
loud.
their whole way of life, their whole
Dude,
kingdom,
I didn't even
effectively
do
being
not even my
eaten
fault.
by fiends.
That's what you get when you're a slaver.
They don't really know that.
That's what happens when you're a bad person, is you get eaten by fiends.
They don't really understand that though,
I don't make
because
the
that's not
I
in
don't
their
make the
cultural reality.
being mean to people isn't part of their culture.
Well, no, being mean to
Like,
people is part of their culture, but that being wrong
will hate them.
is not part of their culture. That's business as usual to them. That's what they've been
Well,
raised to do.
they're
That's
gonna
how
get
they've always done
learned.
it. Apparently so. So,
Okay.
these orcs are all starting to look. They're looking around, ready to try and start something. They seem to be on the horns of indecision. However, you have 1 round to try and diffuse this before it all goes twisted.
Okay. I'm going to take the guy that attacked me first. I'm going to basically push him so that he's in like the center of attention, and I'm going to say, tell them to back off. And this time it is a bit of an intimidation check.
Okay, give us an
So,
intimidation roll.
Here goes. Okay. That's a 12. I don't know if it's showing up right away.
Yeah, they're not impressed. Like the guy you've got in the chokehold is like got his hands up and he's going, yeah, all right, I'm stopping. So that's your turn. Shad.
Seeing how it's slowly unraveling at this point, but at the same time, I do not want to take this individual's life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take while I still have him,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my hand axe from the back of my belt, flip it so that the handle part's up, and I'm going to try to use it as a blackjack to knock him unconscious.
Okay.
Let's see. So is that a hand axe?
So you're going to effectively assault this guy, is what you're telling me.
At this point, it's starting to look like there's very little chance of calming down the situation, and rather than take this person's life, I'd rather
I'm not asking for your rationalization. I'm
Okay.
simply clarifying that you're actually intending to assault this guy.
I will keep my hand on the hand axe, but I will try to make one more attempt at reason, but this time I will be using.
So what's your action? What are you doing?
I'm going to use Orcish,
Yep.
and I'm going to intimidate the most closest of the orcs to stand down, and then attempt to intimidate them.
Okay, but how are you telling them to stand down? Like, are you just yelling "stand down," or are you actually going to use some sort of epithet? Like, for example, you would know that most orcs worship Grumsh.
I will tell them, we do not want to harm you, but this would not look good for Grommesh if you continue to act in such a way. Stand down.
They don't think that makes a lot of sense. So make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Oof.
So roll it again.
I clicked it again. Oh.
No, you're rolling perception, not persuasion.
A lot of P's in that one. 14 and 9.
Okay.
Oh no, I couldn't have been the other one.
A lot of
Okay,
P's.
sorry.
But not
3
Ps.
Ps.
Huh.
Okay, a bunch of them do stand down. The guy you're holding just laughs and says, "What do you know of Grumps, you pale skin idiot?" And that's your turn. Spike.
Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound. My notes check. The crazy old guy that fed us the bad tea. What was his name?
Jukosh.
Jukosh.
It was actually really good quality tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because it's good quality doesn't make it taste good.
believe-
I want to shout that we've been fate touched. We'll get to the bottom of this now. Stand down and swing my battle axe out and
Okay.
ready.
Before you do that, I'm going to ask you to make a wisdom check.
That means this is a really bad plan.
Mm-hmm. No, so you remember that Jukosh is the key here. And if you actually find a way to work his name into what you're going to say, the chances are going to be better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just couldn't remember his name. It would be very much that Jukosh sent us on this path.
He claims
Ah! And more will be revealed. Just be patient and return to line.
Okay, so you're doing that as an intimidation or as a persuasion?
Let's try persuasion.
Okay.
Not likely to get much worse.
Do it at advantage.
Roll number 2.
Oh.
I failed paladin school.
Okay, so this guy is still struggling,
Just utterly unimpressed by everything that we're doing. Which
and
one?
this guy yells out, Jukosh is a charlatan. And he's ready to kick off. He leaps over this way, heading for a pile of weapons.
Okay.
The weapons are actually here. So, Shad, you can make a opportunity attack as he swings out of your path. Although, because you are still grappling this other guy, that's going to be at disadvantage. You're effectively going to be doing an unarmed attack with your leg.
I'm going to try to trip him.
Yep.
Okay, so unarmed. What would that be? Was I supposed to add an unarmed for the attacks, or was there?
It's just your proficiency plus your strength.
Okay, so just a strike check.
Yeah, strength. Well, strength plus proficiency.
Okay, so it's 5 plus. No, I'm sorry, 5 proficiency plus. I'll just roll it. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The heck yeah.
You basically kick him in the hip, and he goes sprawling over this way, and falls flat on his face, and he gets splintered in his nose, and
ow.
he comes up looking bloody and just glares at you.
How much is a square in feet?
I
Are we?
believe.
Is it like a 5 foot square?
About 5 foot squares, yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
So with that, he seems to have calmed down. This officer bloke comes over here, puts a foot on him and says, "No more." And this other officer yells out, "No need for this to get nasty. Just let it all calm down." And that happens. So you've still got your guy in a chokehold. He's due to pass out, Shana, if you're not going to let him go. But he
Oh.
seems to have relented.
No, I'll let him go. Yeah, I let him go. Because if we're not fighting anymore, I don't need to be.
Yeah,
You know.
he's chilled. He's now intrigued by what Spike was saying about Jukosh. If you let him get back to his feet, he will move. Do you let him get back to his feet?
Yeah. I mean, I'll help him even if he's not being aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. He moves over here and says, "All right. You said something about Jukosh. What did that old bastard have to say about all this? He said something about fate touched."
That's what he said, and then he sent us on a ship, and then we got sent here.
Okay. So we can argue that your rescue was the will of Grumsh then,
Absolutely.
because Jukosh is an agent for the will of Grumsh. I don't like this, but all right. For now, I pledge on behalf of my brothers and sisters, and he glares around the rest of the dock, that we will be peaceful. We will not seek to harm the fate touched.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I get off the orc that I was currently holding down, and I offer a hand to help him up.
Okay. All right. So that all calms down. The soldiers start sort of going back to their posts and sort of generally just sort of moving away from the orcs, letting things calm down a bit. These guys sort of start moving back into line. And these guys move back into line as well. And these soldiers back off. And it all seems to be a lot more chilled and friendly. This guy gets helped up. He's bleeding from his nose profusely, and this bloke here tasks two of his men to take him off to get medical help, which they do. So they march him up the dock and away. This guy here holds a hand out to Spike and then to Shana, saying, "These are troubling times. As much as I might see you as the cause, the fact that you know who Jukosh is gives strength to your case of being fate touched. My name is Grond.
Nice to meet you, Grund. I'm Spike. It's terrible times we're in, but no harm done. We're glad to meet you.
I come to stand up next to Spike. I'm Shad, and I wish this were. But
And he holds his arm out to you and gives you the big sort of orcish arm clasp handshake.
I return it eagerly.
Okay. And he does the same to you, Shanna.
Like Shauna and just sort of take it. But I don't really have much else to say at this point.
Okay. And about this time, this chap here wanders up and says, "Hi there. Grond, was it?" And Grond looks at this newcomer, who's sort of a bit of a clanky knight type, and looks at him a bit side-eyed, like, "Hello? Yeah? Who are you?" He says, "Nibs is my name. Welcome to Cordash. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Grond. I have a feeling that you and I might become, let's not say friends yet, but let us say better acquainted over the time. You seem to be a reasonably clever individual." And Grond looks really suspicious at that. And Nibs smiles at him. And it's a super friendly smile. And Grond just looks at him for a moment and just completely relaxes. Seems to think it's almost as if he's been hit by a charm spell or something like that, but you had no sense of any spell being cast. He says, Nibs. Perhaps friends we are not yet, but perhaps friends we shall become." Nibs calls a soldier over and says, "Take my friend Mr. Grond here up to, well, you know where my offices are." The soldier looks at him, recognizes him, his eyes go a bit wide, and goes, "Oh, yeah, all right then," and escorts him off the dock and up the wharf and away. Which leaves Mr. Nibs stepping into the group, the middle of your group. You were going to say something?
No, I just nod in acknowledgement.
Okay. So.
Are we supposed to know who this is?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You're about to.
Okay.
Sort of.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
To be the DM.
I want to do a thing.
Sure, But before you do the thing, he holds his hand out to shake each of yours. You can just call me Nibs. Mr. Nibs, Lord Nibs. Don't really like that one. Just call me Nibs.
Alright, Nibs.
Well met, friend.
There's a friendly chap. Well met to you too, indeed. So you would be Spike?
Yes, I am.
And he looks at Shad and says, Shad, I believe, yes. And looks at Shana and says, and you'd be, taps his nose, you'd be the redoubtable Miss Shana, wouldn't you?
Redoubt.
By process of elimination.
Is that good?
Redoubtable means you're not to be taken lightly.
Oh. Are you calling me fat? I'm kidding. And then I like
He-
shake his hand. I'm like, I got you.
he caught the joke and he allows a moment and then explodes in laughter and says, "Oh yes, you and I are going to get along very well, Miss Shana, aren't we?" As it were, I don't want to come heavy, but I've just been keeping an eye out for how you guys have handled yourselves, and you've actually done all right. I reckon.
That could have got a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have. But you kept a lid on it. So basically, what I'm going to do, if it's all right with you, is ask you for a little bit of a favour. And of course, this might count against any favours owed to your mate Yanis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't.
All right. So, look, we've got all the orcs out of these ships. We're about to start moving them down the dock. But we do need a few little bits and pieces, bits and bobs. So what I'd like you to do for starters is go through each of these vessels and just see if you can find any little nooks and crannies and anything that might be found within.
Okay.
Okay. That definitely doesn't sound like it will take forever.
I want to
The night is yet young.
I want to look like I'm thinking about it and use my divine sense.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
Noxious odor, huh?
You sense no celestials, fiends, or undead. However, you do get a strong sense of the beneficence of Mr. Nibs. It says you powerful good rings like a heavenly music in your ears. You get a sense that this individual is not just good, but a special kind of good.
So, like, you look at him and you kind of faintly hear wind chimes.
More like church bells,
uh,
but without the church.
and I'd
Like this sensation
Ghost bells.
is almost overwhelming. I'd like you to make a wisdom check, please. All right. So Spike feels a sort of resonance building in his head, which actually becomes painful. And you know that all you have to do to stop it is shut off that divine sense.
Which I absolutely would do, and give Nibs a very polite nod and say I would be happy to render whatever assistance, friend Nibs.
Friend.
Okay. He looks at you, cocks his head, chuckles. Paladins. Taps you on the shoulder. Says, "All right then, my lovelies. The boats away."
Okay.
So the soldiers start marching the orcs off the wharf and off into the warehouse where they start giving them food and drink.
Y'all want to start with this one? Do you want to split up or?
I
It'll
look at the sails.
There are 12 vessels.
Even 4 for each. Unless Nibs wants to take some.
No,
Something tells me
he points to the warehouse where the orcs are being led and says, "Bring what you find over to me, right?"
Peace.
And he walks off.
I'll take the 4 at the end of the pier.
Okay, these 4.
Yep.
I'll take the left 4 then.
Right 4.
I'm guessing
What's
that.
my
Oh,
name?
This one.
there's someone hiding under me.
Oh no. Skirmisher.
All right, I'm assuming we're going to be doing investigation checks.
Yes.
Are we
Although,
just
if you want to, let's make a perception check for each one. And if you pass your perception checks well enough, we'll then move on to an investigation check with either advantage, disadvantage, or normal.
Okay.
perception for each boat?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's have one perception check from each of you.
Nice.
Oh, hello.
Not my worst roll of the night so far.
Green numbers.
Shad. Okay. So, Shana, you can roll at advantage for investigation, as can Shad. Spike will just roll normally.
Okay.
Just said I'd be happy to do it. Didn't say I'd be good at it.
Yep.
A for efforts.
Okay, so Shana, you do find a couple of little hidden compartments, and in one of the compartments you find a book. It's actually a set of books. You recognize it as being a journal similar to the one that was liberated from the work camp at Camp Halgor. The rest of you find nothing.
Nothing. Okay, next boat.
We get nothing. Get this.
Hey, I'm not sure there's a boat there.
Oh dear.
Another investigation. No, I'm sorry, perception.
Perception.
Okay. So, Shana, you're rolling. Shana and Spike, you're rolling normally. Shad, you're rolling at advantage.
Okay.
Shad, if you could move your token over to the ship you're
Oh.
checking next.
Dear Lord.
Part of me wants to like double check his boats for
Hey, I'm not letting you know anything's going wrong. I'm
At
just
this
not finding
point-
anything. It's a
At this
fine boat.
point, he's not checking the boats. The boats are checking out him.
Are you sure? Because it looks like you're just standing on the pier and like squinting at the boat.
And, he's,
I think it's a boat.
and he looks and he says,
Can't
"Yeah,
quite find the
that's
gangplank
a
to get
boat."
on.
Okay.
all right,
So,
a little better."
Shana, you find a couple of caches of dry jerk. You also find some ritual tools.
Ooh.
They appear to be there's some what looks to be like red chalk. If you'd like to make a nature check, you can try and figure out what that is.
Nature?
Or religion, if you prefer. Nature or religion.
Okay.
I need to step away for just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, nature it is. Woo! 10.
It looks kind of like chalk that's been soaked in some sort of red liquid.
Definitely not blood, right?
Shad. Well, you don't know.
Great.
Shad. You find a couple of backpacks. One of them has cartographer's tools. And the other one has a sextant.
What was that again? A sextant?
Sextant, which is a navigation tool for identifying which direction north is, what latitude you're at, or is it which longitude you're at? One of them. All right, let's move on to the next boat.
Blue. All right, we're just getting progressively worse at. Well, I'm getting progressively worse at boat searching.
So the way it works is if you are between 16 and 20, or 16 above, you get advantage. 5 or below, you get disadvantage. Between 6 and 15, you roll normally for your investigation check.
Great.
What'd I miss?
You rolled well for perception and got 15 for investigation.
I just have to be gone. That's what it is.
Yep.
That's a very nice sail.
Okay, so Shanna, you... Shanna,
I
Mira.
found
Okay.
Italy.
Yup.
Yeah.
Lucky I found my own butt.
I mean, to be fair, you were rolling at... Oh, that was at disadvantage? Yeah. Okay. All right. Spike, you find a secret cache of food, and also a black censer.
A what?
Censer. For
Uh,
those who weren't raised Catholic, it's basically something you put
Incense and do the-
incense in and swing it around. And spreads the incense around. So you find a black one of those, which seems to be covered in arcane sigils. You also find about half a pound of black incense. If you would like to make a religion check, you could see if you could make some sense out of what that is.
I absolutely do.
So he would try to make sense out of some incense.
Mm. Okay, so you definitely get a sense that these are ritual tools. You actually have a smell of the incense, and it's got a dark, acrid sort of smell, sort of a irony hint to it, which you suspect might mean that there's been blood infused into the stuff.
yes.
It also has a sulfurous smell.
I like how they're carrying around these like kind of obvious demon summoning paraphernalia, and then they have the audacity to blame me for their problems. The audacity.
Meanwhile, I'm just going here saying, I can make maps. And that's all I said.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have each of you make one final perception and investigation check.
Okay.
Oh, boo.
Okay, so Spike, you're at disadvantage. Shad and Shana are at normal rolls. Shana, you find a dagger. It has a red handle.
Another?
Yeah, it has a red leather handle, and
Okay.
the blade is black. And where a normal dagger would
I love
generally
it.
be,
Okay.
where a normal dagger would just have a straight blade, this one
Okay.
actually seems to be serrated, but the serrations are bent outwards either side.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. That's exactly what
So
I was picturing.
it looks kind of like it would be used for. I'll
Ritual
get you to make
sacrifice.
a. Well, it'd certainly look like it would be specifically designed for disemboweling.
Tasty.
And pulling pieces
Religion?
out of people. Yes. Nope.
Can I have Spike look at it?
Yeah, you guys have done all that you needed to now, so you can convene up on the wharf and compare what you found.
What was
Spike,
my
on
fun?
your investigation,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
pity, you didn't do very well there.
Yeah.
Shad, your investigation, you find a set of books, and in amongst the middle of those books, most of them seem to be more of those journals, but one of them seems to be bound in what looks like it might be skin, and it really gives you the creeps. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Again with the audacity. They have
I have
skin
nothing.
books and they're mad at me for running
I
away.
have nothing to modify this. Oh,
Hey, nice.
Well, I
Um,
feel like we're celebrating a little early.
as you pick this up, you're able to carry it, but not for long. You get a sense that you need to put this down and have something done with it sooner rather than later.
at this
What
point,
does it
I'm carrying the 2 packs with me, right? I'm just gonna stick that journal into one of the spare packs and just
Yep.
carry it that way.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Ew.
Even knowing that it's in the pack makes you feel creeped out.
At least I'm not holding it.
Yeah, but like I say, like even knowing that you're carrying it, even if it's in a bag, it's still making you feel creeped out.
It's got more of an aura than a
Yeah,
touch kind of thing.
correct.
You're like holding the pack like out, like. "Mm."
I know.
Ugh.
We try and pass that pack back and forth.
It's
Okay,
basic.
No,
Spike,
your turn.
you
No,
can
your
make
turn.
your religion check if you wish.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You know that this is a book that has to do with the summoning of demons.
Ugh.
guys want to read it?
No,
I just give her a side glance.
I'm kidding.
we're going to take all of this to Nibs.
Okay. So you do that, and Nibs returns to the head of the dock to meet you after he's given you enough time to do a decent search. And you folks join him up there. And you present your findings. So, what you find?
I found cartographer tools, a sailing device named a sextant, and this creepy skin-bound book. I would recommend keeping it at a distance. Ugh.
He
And I just put the bag down and have it wide open to show him.
Yeah. He takes the sextant, has a look at it, says, "Oh yeah, decent workmanship." Hands it back to you and says, "You may as well keep that."
Okay.
Has a look at the cartographer's tools. Says, "Yeah, well, this is just normal cartographer's tools. Let's call that confiscated booty, and you can share it as you will."
Yeah.
As for this book, can I have a look?
I just open the bag but step back. It gives me the chills, sir.
He pulls it out of the bag, looks at it. Been a while since I've seen one of these. Leafs through it. And sighs, says, "I suspected as much." Looks upwards and then slams the book shut. And as he does so, it just vanishes. Spike, can I get you to please make me a religion check?
Indeed, because curious. 16.
Yeah, that any sense that that book even existed has just vanished. You're actually thinking to yourself, what book? And then you remember, no, hang on, that was a book about what just happened.
I'm happy it's gone.
Yes. Shad, can I get you to make a wisdom check for me? And I will make one for Shana while she's AFK.
I believe she's returned. Can't. Oof.
Okay, I was listening. It was wisdom.
That's all right. I just made it for you. You
Oh,
clicked on
okay.
your sheet.
Oh yeah. You
Shana, you saw Nibs hold something and clap his hands, and whatever it was seems to be gone, and you don't even remember that there was a book there. Shad, you remember that there was a book there, and you don't remember that it was icky.
Just another book then.
You think that Nibs is basic, like your recollection of that event that happened 5 seconds ago is that Nibs read a book, slammed it closed, and it disappeared.
Yeah.
You don't remember the creepy feeling. You don't remember complaining about the creepy feeling.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, that's all we found? Oh, no. Wait,
As far as you two are concerned, which is Shana and Shad, you don't even remember that a book of demon summoning existed.
Did I get the other books by any chance?
Yeah. You've all found a few little sort of
So
manuals.
At this point, to me, it was just another book among the books, and he just looked at it
and poofed it out of existence. Yes.
Yeah.
But even that memory is starting to fade into just a sense of what book.
Yeah. He doesn't question it. He just nods.
Yep. Spike, you are going to show Mr. Nibs your finds, I take it?
Absolutely.
Okay, run me through what those were.
Surprisingly found a hidden catch of food. I don't think it's particularly anything but food.
No, it's poor quality rations. 10 days worth.
And then the black censer and the black incense.
Okay, those he looks at and goes, he takes the incense from you, throws it up in the air, and a popping sound takes place, and a very bright light, which you recognize with no need for a religion check as radiant flame. And all of this incense just goes pop as it's consumed by this burst of radiant flame. The sensor Nibs pulls out a cloth from a back pocket, which you didn't notice being there before, and just polishes the sensor and gives it a bit of a rub with his thumb where there were sort of sigils on the sensor. And you start seeing that the sigils are no longer demonic. In fact, if you give me a religion check.
Oliver?
Spike only. You recognize that now as being a sensor dedicated to Torn.
That's the...
Oh, delightful.
And he hands it back to you and says, "Use in good health." And as he hands it back to you, it's no longer black. It's now gold. Pure gold.
Don't bite it.
In fact, it looks like it might not be so much pure gold as a gold platinum alloy.
Even more precious, right?
Beautiful.
Which you would recognize as being effectively artifact quality, highly expensive sensor. He's just handed it to you and said, I don't know, that might come in handy.
Thank you very much, friend.
Shana, what did you find?
What did I find? I found this dagger. Did I find anything else? I found some chalk. It looks like red chalk. It was soaked in something. I'm not thinking about what.
Mm-hmm. He looks at the chalk, clicks his fingers, and it just poofs. Says,
It
yeah,
does.
okay. It poofs. It disappears. Like there's a
Okay,
smattering
now I'm
of...
supposed to do graffiti.
There's now a faint smattering of white dust in the air.
And this dagger, which I kind of want to keep, so don't turn it into dust.
He looks at the dagger and says, Hmm. Look, if you really want to keep that, come back to me when you're a bit more experienced, and I might let you have it.
Wait.
And
Oh.
for now, he just reaches out, puts his finger on it, and it disappears.
Wait. Okay.
He says, it's a little dangerous for someone...
I mean, it's a dagger, yeah.
No, it's not a dagger.
Long sword? For,
No, like it looked like a dagger. It wasn't a dagger. It was something else.
saber-toothed tiger?
Uh,
Sort of a saber-toothed tiger? He's wearing
and you get a sense that there's a wry grin behind his... He's kind of laughing at you.
It is alive, right?
Uh,
Come on, do something. I'm dying here.
he says, all right,
Fine.
look,
How much stronger?
let me put it this way. There are certain forces in the universe that if you really wanted to make friends with them, and I'm not necessarily saying it would be something I would prevent because I'm all about free will, but you would need to work pretty hard to limit their direct influence in this world. But you could bargain to make friends with the being that dagger is an extension of. Now, out of character, and mechanically speaking, if you wanted to become a Blade Pact Warlock at some point, with a Fiend Pact, that is something that you could use to establish that link.
I do like magic.
But later, definitely. And he sort of says, if you were the sort of person who decided to take on that pact, let me simply say that the level of attention that might be paid to you by my people...
Who's your people?
Well, that's an interesting question.
I don't religion much, so I don't, I'm not sure. I can bench a lot, but that's, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he
really
says,
my charm.
when I say my people, I mean I have a role in the realm which involves me, uh, let's say, recruiting talented individuals, and
What, you're like a
sometimes
cult?
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids.
I suppose maybe a little bit like a cult. Actually, I've never thought of it that way before. That's kind of fun. I
Expand
could
your
be a cult leader. I am a cult leader. Ha ha ha.
Look at you.
He he
Talented
says no.
individuals.
He says I'm not a cult leader. It's not a cult. Look, I have a role in the realm which requires me to occasionally pick out talented individuals to do little odd jobs around the place for me. And one of those odd jobs might occasionally be keeping an eye on someone.
Stalking?
You say stalking, I say surveilling.
I guess it depends on how evil they are, right?
It depends very much on how evil they are, yes.
All right, all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yes.
We're on the wavelength.
Let me simply say that the creature that knife is an extension of is not exactly how we would say all
Lawful
puppies
good.
and butterflies. Yes, not puppies and butterflies. It is, shall we say, something considerably darker and more dangerous than even your average puppy from the plane that it comes from. And he seems to be very amused by that. You have no idea what he's
Wait.
talking about.
Back up. There's an entire plane full of puppies.
Oh no. No. There's a plane
Oh.
on which
I
a
didn't
particularly
imagine.
nasty form of puppies is bred.
Oh, wait. Okay. Are these the puppies that were chasing the ships? Is that
I
the
doubt
connection
they'd
there?
be particularly effective at chasing ships once they were away from land. However, if one of these puppies got dropped onto a ship, uh, let's say snack time, who's a good dog then?
Okay. I think I get the gist.
The ship would become, how we say, a food bowl.
Hmm.
The analogy
Big
is
puppy or just like
Well,
or it's just like hunts them and whatnot. I'm sorry, this is going too far.
yeah,
I
it
feel
is
like
just a little
we're
bit.
getting a little off topic.
We're getting a little off topic, yes. So let me simply say that these are not exactly the cuter form of puppy. They're the sort of puppy that might involve the soul of an individual who had spent some time at a crossroads.
Down in Georgia.
I don't know where Georgia is, but perhaps he hums a couple of licks of music, and you can't quite pick out what they are, but you get a sense that he's giggling manically at the reference.
Oh, okay, good. That's awesome. All right.
So he
Okay.
says, "Was there anything else?"
So what do we do to be like a part of that organization? Do you like have to ask us to do something, or
Ooh,
is it just like
are you volunteering your services? Are you saying, "I have now
I
finished my
kind of
education. I would like to be given an occasional odd job"?
yeah, a job would be good. I do pay rent now, I guess. Uh,
Yes, in a week's time you will have to pay rent.
yeah. So securing a job would be hella tight.
Fair enough then. What have you lot? And he turns to Shad and Spike.
If I
You up for a
can,
bit of casual employment?
if I can lend my services to where they can most be good, I would be honored to assist on occasion.
At this point, Shad's just trying to stifle the smallest of giggles from this exchange. And he just smiles and goes, I would be delighted to assist you, especially for return services and goods.
Fair enough. Well, you've shown yourselves to be moderately capable. Let's find out if you're capable enough. Let's call this the real audition. He hands each of you a small medallion on what looks to be a red leather band.
Like a necklace or like a bracelet?
Yeah, like a little necklace sort of thing. But the actual chain isn't a chain. It's
It's like a strap.
appears to be like a leather strap sort of thing. Yeah.
A thong.
Uh,
I feel like
yes.
that gets used.
Although think a thong that seems to be made of
Yeah, a leather thong. Would be
like a
strap.
snake skin or something along those lines. That's
Ooh.
bright red.
Ooh. Oh, ooh, fashionable.
And the little pendant is made of what looks to be pretty similar to the metal that the sensor turned into, which is a gold platinum alloy. And in the center of it is a yellow, or like sort of like a topaz, but it looks like it might be a better stone than topaz. Like it's got that sort of yellowy goldy color to it, but it appears to be flawless. You get a sense that this sort of gem would probably be worth about 100 gold pieces at the minimum, possibly more, probably more. He says, well, consider yourselves deputized. We'll upgrade these to the real thing if you can finish a little task for us.
This is the fake one?
Oh, this is the beginner's grade, shall we say?
At this point, I would say, this, as the saying goes, imitation is the most finest form of flattery, and I would believe these would be flattering.
So, do you put them all on? Do you all put them on?
Yes, I would put mine
on.
He says, sorry, you were about to say.
Oh, yeah. Would it be possible to like wrap it around my wrist rather than put it on my neck? She's not much of a necklace person.
If you were to do that, are you going to do that?
That would probably be her first instinct.
Okay. If you do that, Nibs is going to look at you a bit oddly. And say, interesting choice. I possibly recommend putting it in the around your neck instead, because it will be harder to cut away the pendant that way.
Okay.
If you do you, but if you lose it, means I have to find another one.
Well, usually she like tucks it under her sleeve.
These aren't exactly cheap, so I would appreciate it if you didn't lose it.
Okay, noted. I didn't think it was. But yeah, like generally speaking, she'll like tuck it, like she'll wear bracers, and she'll sort of tuck it so that it's like underneath her sleeve, and that way it's not like dangling.
Yeah, all right. If it's into the cuff of a bracer or something like that, he'd be happier with that.
Yeah.
He says, all right then. So, we have that little task, right?
Yes, sir.
He takes you for a bit of a walk over to the edge of the dock and points down in this direction and says, "So I have a bit of a concern with some of those artifacts you brought me from off those ships. I have a concern that there might have been some, well, shall we say, not exactly lovely people who might have come along with these ships, and at an appropriate juncture, as it were, they might have found their way into the
Water supply?
smugglers' tunnels that sit underneath
Oh.
the wharves. Now, my role, let's say, it has to do with state security. And sometimes it can be kind of nice to have a little bit of a contact with some of the
Underground.
less, shall we say, legitimate areas of the kingdom for getting things done that might be somewhat less legitimate. So we know, or I know, that there are tunnels underneath these wharves, and I think there might be. I just have a bit of a sense that there might be some more of these cultist types that might have splashed off the outside of one of these boats, or more of them, and found their way into the tunnels, and God knows what sort of mischief they might be up to. But given the paraphernalia they had on them, if there's more of that, I'm pretty sure we don't really want to find out. So, if I could trouble you to go for a bit of a wade, make your way into the tunnels, and see what you can find there, I'd be most appreciative. There's a few of those poor souls that came on those ships that might be innocents. If they're innocent, do what you can to save them. However, if there are people who are down there getting up to, shall we say, fiendish mischief, feel free to terminate such threats with significant levels of autonomy and
Dagger?
exigency.
Okay, we got it.
He nods.
Mm. Okay, yeah. Okay, sure. That's I'm down if y'all are down. I don't know.
Okay. So
Okay.
this area up here is cobblestones. This area here is more of a sort of concrete stone aggregate. And you can faintly see that there are a few tunnels on either side of the wharf.
So
Left or right?
I'd say the closest one would be sufficient.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
He hands you a key
Well, this will
and
be
says,
handy.
you might find some padlocks on these things. They may or may not be open. They may or may not be closed. Do be dear, or do be dears, and make sure they're locked. And bring back the key when you're done.
Got it. Clean up after ourselves and lock up.
I'm gonna hand the key to Shad to hold.
I will
Okay.
take the key, take a moment to look at it, and then just slip it into the cuff of my glove for safekeeping.
Okay. He says, all right, then. I'll be up at the warehouses. You lot have a safe bit of a spelunk down there, and I'll see you when I see you.
He nods.
And he wanders off.
All right. I guess we
So,
Oh.
And with that, we have a new map.
doo-doo-doo-doo. At least it's not bright lights. Bright lights.
It appears to be nothing. Has everyone else just got square?
Black screen. Yep.
Black square.
Cool.
Yep. There you go.
Thank you. So I'm guessing this is gonna get uncovered as we explore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
cool.
it's dark down here.
Okay, so I've got dark vision.
So you're fine.
I'm buggered. Let me dig for a torch.
Is Spike have dark vision?
I don't remember.
What?
Half elf.
Oh yes.
Yes, if you're a half elf, you have dark vision.
Yeah, I'm a half elf
Excellent.
too.
Then I can see too.
Yes.
Oof.
I apparently have a Dungeoneer's pack, so I do have a torch if you need one.
Thank you, Shauna, but I too have a pack
Okay.
and set
Okay.
torches.
Everyone make me a perception check.
Hold on, my toesies are cold.
This goes so well.
Huh.
Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. And bloop. I
Okay.
close my eyes.
Shana, you find yourself very interested in these grates and how they might be opened and how you might get to them. Spike, you notice that there's a sort of faint tingling coming from your pack, a slight vibration. Shad, you notice that there is a dim light coming from Spike's pack.
Oh, I want to dig out the sensor.
Lo and behold, the sensor is shining.
I don't notice that.
It's
I can-
casting 20 feet worth of dim light.
There we go.
Lovely.
Rowan.
Good question.
So, you were at the edge of the wharf, which is about here, and you were kind of looking in the direction of this grate here.
We've just got a black
Yeah, I still
screen.
just-
Did
Yeah,
you ping
yeah.
something?
I saw the ping, but there's nothing here for me to see.
You should be seeing the. Oh, hang on. Haha.
Technical.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Then let me make a quick modification and turn off dynamic lighting.
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
I still have a black screen.
I reloaded the page
Ah, that,
a couple times.
that's not the page I wanted. All right, I shall reload.
Andy, what level of zoom have you got on that screen at the moment?
There we go. I have to refresh it. Give me a sec.
Oh, here we go. I see it. Okay. All good.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
There
So,
we go.
which of these entrances do you wish to come in through?
Yeah.
Is this one locked by chance?
That one is locked, but you have a key.
Okay, I take the key out from my glove and just shimmy between the two and put the key in the lock and turn.
Okay. The grate seems a little rusty, but it opens. However, you are all kind of under about 5 feet of water at the moment.
Oh, gross.
Is the sewer grate going in at even level of the water, or do we get into it?
Okay, so as you see the tunnel move up this way, you notice that there is a sort of incline that travels upwards about I don't know, 40, 50 feet. For every 40 or 50 feet that you travel, it will raise about 10 feet.
Oof. And
you notice that there is a bit of a groove in the center of the tunnel, which seems to be basically you've entered a sewer system. So there's a sort of path either side, and there's a sort of a dip in the center of the tunnel.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
So I guess you said that there's like a path on the side?
Yeah, you can move up the tunnel, and you'll effectively be moving up one side or the other, or splashing through the center. Just tell me which you're doing.
I'll probably stick to one side.
Yep. Okay.
I would stick to the other side.
And
All right.
I've got a light. I'll slog through the middle if I can.
All right. So just put yourself in order, but just leave yourself in the middle. You don't need to actually show me exactly which side you.
Oh. Okay.
I'll just assume that Shana's going to be on the east side. That Shad's going to be on the Shana's going to be on the west side. Shad's going to be on the north. West.
Good.
Brain.
East.
Shana west, Shad east, Spike center. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Spike, you notice as you're sloshing through the water, so I'm going to assume you're going to swim up to the point where you can breathe.
Yep.
I'm going to be like, Spike.
This is the plan.
What are you doing? Spike, why are you in the water?
It's just water.
You're all in the water at the moment.
We're already wet.
We're in the water? I thought there was like a path.
So
it's just kind of slightly curved like this, and then like the water is like above that. I thought you meant that there was like path and then the water and then like a
no, but you've got that sort of 30 or 40 feet that you have to travel to get out of the sort of 10-foot deep water.
Okay.
That fills the tunnel until you get up to about here.
Okay.
Okay. So, at that point, you get to see about that much.
Y'all want to flip a coin, or you just want to go forward?
I just go forward.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So start moving yourselves forwards if you would.
Oh.
Are you stealthing?
No.
No.
Okay.
Boldly forward.
Fine.
All right.
Clank. clank.
You keep hearing mainly the sound of your own footsteps. Can I get you to make a perception check, please? This will only apply to Shana as you're at the head of the group.
Okay. Well. Good luck, y'all. I'm about
Okay.
to die.
You mainly hear Spike sloshing around in the sort of channel behind you.
Okay. There's another turn up ahead. Do you want to turn or keep going?
I'll follow you. I don't.
Good lord.
One's
Okay.
as good as the other.
So move yourselves up, and I'll reveal as you go.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go this way and turn
Alright.
here. Yeah. Well, this is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very nervous.
I'm going to wait for everyone to catch up before I reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Which way, guys?
Well, if we go left, that's probably going to go back to the water, so right. See if it...
Over here?
Yeah, this direction.
Okay.
I'll take up the rear.
Oh dear.
Can I get you all to make a perception check?
I can't.
Oof.
Shad, from down this direction,
Which direction?
you hear some sort of muffled voices. Might be chanting. Sounds like it's in Orcish or something Orcish adjacent.
Jana, Spike, I think I hear some chanting. I don't have much idea as to what chanting might sound like, but I think it might be coming
Well,
from
you hear
down here.
voices.
Lead the way. Voices, that's either
That
good
sounds
or
like
bad.
Yeah, they're in Orcish, so I think they might be who we're looking for. So I guess I'm now leading the front.
Yes. Unless you want me to get in front, but I can't hear it, so I don't know.
Mm.
Spike, come on.
Ah,
Alright.
I look to my sides.
Which way is it?
I believe it was this way. So I'll
Let's go that way.
I'm going to start stealthing. Can I hear the voices now? Since
Yeah,
they're
you can
close?
all hear it
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
Alright,
I'm
then
gonna
I'll try
see
and
that
stealth.
try and be stealthy.
Okay, are you stashing your light?
Shit.
Spike's the only one who has a light source. I had put when I found out it was glowing, I just put my torch away before lighting it.
Yeah, I'll put the light away. I can still
Okay.
see.
Shall I make a stealth check as well?
Are you trying to be stealthy?
Yeah, I'm a little unsure as to how this is gonna. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a little bit cautious.
Oh dear.
And I take a look inside.
Okay.
Stuff looks.
And you find
Should we make a perception check or?
in a sec. Sorry, I'm just.
That's right.
So you come into a room, and inside that room you see 3 individuals. There is a how do I do a what appears to be a sort of crude summoning circle marked out in. Actually, I should probably clear that.
Does Spike still have the light out?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm blind as a bat.
Oh, true.
Unless they've got torches or candles or something lit.
Probably.
They're orc. Probably. So,
Okay, so there's a sort of circle-ish thing there. It's pretty crude, but you notice it's been drawn out in red chalk. There is a sensor and an orc shaman who appears to be making some sort of invocation. As you come towards the entry, the other 2 orcs start stepping forwards. Roll initiative for me, please. So click on your own character and roll the initiative.
Oh.
oh, jeez. The 2 that can see are flat-footed, and the one that's in the dark.
One in the dark is not aware yet that there's anyone there.
Are there's no candles around?
Actually, there will be some candles around.
Okay,
There'll be
so
creepy red candles at various points around the circle.
do they cast enough light so I could get a vague idea as to where they are?
Yeah, you'd basically be at a disadvantage on your attacks unless you're right up close to one of those candles. So I'm going to pop a candle there, candle there, candle there, and candle there.
And Spike can kind of toss the thingy if he wants, I suppose, or like take it out and put it in his teeth and hold it, maybe? I don't know.
So, okay. Let us get initiative rolls from these guys then. Ooh.
Oh Oh dear.
And Orc Shaman is at 6. Okay, so Orc Warrior goes. He steps up here, puts up a hand and says, "Come no further. Flee if you value your lives."
I'll look at the others.
Do you make to look like you're going to flee?
I certainly don't.
Okay. He is going to attack Shad with a longsword, but
Yes.
he really flubs it, and the longsword clatters into the ground as you kind of hear a whooshing sound and step back.
Nice. And you get to counter.
Shad.
Kick him.
Bonus action. I would like to rage.
Okay.
And I'm going to strike him as he fumbles with my great
Mhm.
axe.
Okay.
Which
Oh gosh.
this is the dance of the blades, but no contact. No, wait, hang on. Okay. And that would be my turn.
Okay. So that is a miss.
Okay.
The Orc Mage steps up over here and fires a firebolt at Andy. Sorry, at Spike.
I always get really scared when they say that, and then I'm like, oh wait, no. Fireball.
Firebolt.
I think that's
Yes.
a terrible plan. Go ahead.
Ooh, what do you know that we don't?
Dear God.
I
All right.
believe, I believe this is amateur hour. Literally.
Orc Shaman is casting a ritual and continues to do so.
Okay. How much movement do we have?
Usual
Like-
30.
Well, I mean, like, is it like 4 squares is the 5 foot?
No. Forget the squares on this map. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
to scale.
Okay. But would you say that I would be able to feasibly reach the shaman from where I am? Or
You
Will
know
that
how to use the
this guy?
the distance tool in Roll20?
I do not.
Ah,
So you go where the
Not
little
you.
upside, the Q looking thing that's sort of upside down.
Uh-huh.
It looks like a power button turned sideways.
Yeah, no, she's got it. She's got it.
okay. So yes,
Okay.
Well, if you can, then I can.
not my turn.
It is Spike's turn. Yes.
In which case, I would totally be going after the shaman.
Okay. All right. Make me an attack.
And this is with both hands. And a whiff.
This is the most exciting battle.
Okay.
May have put the candle out.
Not even that. You just can't seem to get a grip on your axe. It's
Still wet, not my fault.
It's wet and greasy. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a second weapon that you would like to attack with for a bonus attack?
Nope, I wield the battle axe with both hands.
Okay. Shana.
Oh, nope. Gotta get out of this tool. I'm gonna attack this dude then. What is that again?
Orc Mage.
A mage? Ooh, gross.
You can zoom that area of the map in a bit if you want, Andy, so that we can see the nameplates.
I hold on. Let me look something up.
Didn't like that.
When do I get?
There we go.
Oh no, that's not till. Oh, fighting style. I know I picked a fighting style.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I take it back. I wanted to do two-handed. That was worse.
Oh,
Okay.
That's what I get for clicking the wrong one.
So I'm going to let the attack stand from the first one, but we'll
Oh,
click the
thank
two-handed one for the damage. So you do 6 bludgeoning damage to this guy.
you. That guy. No,
Okay.
this guy.
Are you're doing one-handed or two-handed
No, that was two-handed, so
with your longsword?
was
Okay.
a warhammer.
A
Actually.
warhammer. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I decided that was more her style.
Alrighty. Don't forget, you do have that dagger, which you don't know exactly what it does, but you have a suspicion it might do something nice.
Yeah, I was thinking because I'm pretty sure I took the two-handed fighting style,
Mm-hmm.
so that would actually probably do more damage.
Well, it gives you a bonus attack, effectively. So you can use your bonus action to attack with a melee weapon in your offhand, if you wish.
Yeah.
But the weapon has to be finesse or light, I believe.
Yeah. Which would
So,
be a dagger, right?
anyway, that's the end of your turn.
Mhm.
Okay, Orc Warrior slashes out at Mr. Meatshield.
ah.
Oh, fun.
Oof.
Oh
That much
no.
damage.
Is rolling a. Sorry, he's using a scimitar.
Okay.
So it's. So you take 9 points of damage.
Which is halved by rage, so about
4.
5.
You round down
Okay, 4.
when damage is halved.
Okay.
Okay, so mark off 4 hit points
Oh, that's
on
not
your
bad.
sheet.
That's
Okay.
That's 14. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Shad, your turn.
Second verse, same as the first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Nice.
baby.
That's a hit.
Bah.
Geez, rolled a 2. Yeah, well, it hits him, but he just kind of grins at you nastily and says,
Just
yeah, nice try.
just returning the favor.
The Orc Mage is going to cast. Let's see. Thunderwave is a. Look at that first level spell. He's going to back around this way a little bit, and
He's moving away.
no, he's moving towards you, kind of, or around you. So the point is, he's now lining up you and Spike for Thunderwave.
Mm-hmm. That's a dex save?
It is a con save.
Oh, con. Oh, even better. Binge.
Okay, so you both save against his spellcasting DC. Spike only just. And you each take 4 points of damage. And that's his turn.
Okay. And then the shaman.
The shaman is going to continue casting his ritual.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm gonna take another slash at him. 14.
Mm-hmm.
14 is a hit.
Woo!
7.
Yeah.
Okay. That disrupts his ritual casting.
And it's with my magic axe, if that matters.
Your axe. Let's see. Let me have a look at the axe.
That axe.
Yeah, it doesn't do any damage bonuses at this point.
Right.
So that's your turn?
Yep.
Shana.
So I guess I'll pull out my dagger in one hand and kind of like warhammer like this, and then like, is that a thing? Like I can be like gonk,
Yeah,
and then like
you
stab
can
at him.
you can attack with any versatile weapon in your main hand and with your dagger as a bonus action.
Okay. I will.
Just means you can't take other bonus actions. So some of the fighter abilities have
okay. Yeah.
a bonus action cost.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do this then, and that hits, I'm assuming.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sorry, who are you targeting? The mage?
Oh yeah, the mage again.
Okay.
Just pivot and then.
Yep.
Nice.
That is a hit as well, and it's a D4. Ooh, nice. That drops him.
Okay, yeah. Hell yeah.
Good job.
Yes.
Take that, you. So that means it's warrior's turn.
Oh yeah, this is a goblin warrior.
Okay. So Orc Warrior notes the fact that his friend has been killed. makes a slash at Shad. That's going to be a hit, I believe.
AC is 14.
Okay, so 6 points of damage.
6 points?
Reduced to 3 because of rage.
Okay.
And then he's going to flick a dagger from his belt in Shana's direction.
Okay. Would that be a dex to move?
No, I mean it's an
No.
attack.
Okay.
Your armor class is adjusted by your dex, so that's how that gets worked out.
That's fair.
So 1d20 plus. Yep. And that is a 22 to hit.
God. Yeah.
He has good aim.
And 4 points of damage.
Okay. All right.
Shad, your turn.
And we return the favor again. Oh!
Okay. So click on Great Axe
Nice.
+5.
Oh yes, that's delicious.
I'm just going to cleave him in twain at this point.
Yeah, more or less. You basically cleave your way straight through him, and he is dead.
And
Hey, dead, y'all.
I'm able to move afterwards.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be joining Spike and stopping the shaman.
Yep. So you move up to the shaman. Okay. Orc Mage is dead. Orc Warrior is dead. Shaman. Mutters some words and turns into a bear.
Great. Now we have to kill a bear and then kill the shaman.
It's quite unbearable, it seems. Yes, I share Shauna's sense of humor, only mine is puns.
Yes. Wonderful.
That's why we got along in Academy.
Mm.
And as a bear, he lunges at Spike. Is 19 going to hit your armor class,
It
Spike?
will.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are wearing plate mail. So,
Oh, ow.
Oh, wow.
yikes. That's how many I've got left right now.
You still standing?
I am still standing.
Okay. Spike.
I'm gonna wobble back and use my lay on hands.
Okay,
On
so that's
yourself?
your full action to do that.
Yep.
He will
I
get
will-
an attack of opportunity if you leave
Yeah.
his zone of control.
Will if I do
You
a
can-
lay on hands too, won't he?
Hmm.
No,
No,
he
Oh.
doesn't
you
get
don't
a
move
AOT
after
for
an
that.
attack.
Oh,
So
then
just-
I wouldn't move away.
That's a 3.5 ed rule.
Okay, yeah, then I wouldn't move away.
Okay.
and just use it. Okay.
All right. And Shana's turn.
If I push Spike out of the way, would he get an attack of opportunity?
No.
Okay. But I wouldn't get an attack if I did that, I'm assuming.
Correct.
All right.
But you could attack him from here with an attack
Yeah.
with a diagonal strike.
Okay. I'm going to kind of try and distract him. And I'm gonna kind of
Or
need
you
to
could
say,
move round to this square here. Because that's 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
got
I
the
mean,
movement to
it's
get
obvious
there.
it's not. So yeah, I'm gonna come over here and just like, again with the 1, 2, like just bam, bam.
Mm-hmm. Yep, cool.
Nope, that didn't hit. And I don't know, what does a bear's AC?
Yeah, no, the dagger is definitely a hit.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, I don't know what a bear's HP is, but
Okay.
I stabbed him.
Shad, your turn.
We're gonna have bear for dinner.
Sure are.
Is that a hit?
Yeah, it's a hit.
Okay.
That pops him out of bear form.
Bear form was scary.
He snarls at you and says, "The accursed ones are coming. You cannot prevent their arrival."
I wish it was my turn so I could warhammer you in the nuts.
He saw some of Andy's wounds starting to heal, some of Spike's wounds starting to heal, so he snarls and pulls a sort of rough bone head.
This is my turn.
Shad or Spike?
Shad.
Okay.
It's a
He's-
whiff.
It's a whiff.
A whifferoony.
Yep. Which brings us to Spike.
Hey, I like that haircut. You'll pay for that. Fabulous hair.
I took a big chop at him.
That's a hit.
6
That's the
points
good
of
thing about
damage.
spellcasters. Low AC.
And that's enough.
Wow,
He
they-
dies. And as he dies, he screams, what is the...
Blah, blah, blah.
Next time, Shad. Next time.
He yells, "Grast, avenge me!"
Oh dear. That's is that the same like deity that they were worshipping?
I think it was a G.
The normal orcs
Too much.
worship Grumsh. I think that's how it's spelled.
And
Um,
this guy was like grashed.
Grast.
Grost. Oh, that's a much cooler spelling than what I was thinking. I'm assuming we don't really know much about that then.
I might. I religion check or something, perhaps.
Yep, go for it.
Would this be for all of us?
No, just only Spike at this point.
Okay, I just wasn't sure with Orcish gods.
Just doesn't quite ring a bell.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look up how to spell Grumsh. Okay, sorry, there's no apostrophe in it. It's just GRW MSH. So Andy, you get a sense that it's a dark being that the guy just called to. You're not familiar with that specific dark being, however.
Okay.
And that brings us to 6:25 p.m.
Oh, is that what time it is for you? That's
My time, yeah. But I think that's nearly 3 o'clock your time.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
midnight for me.
Yeah, almost midnight here.
Yeah. Which is our allotted time for the evening. So you managed to find on these orcs another 2 dark candles. You find a total of 6 dark candles, 4 of which have been lit. Andy, I'll get you to make a quick religion check to see if you can douse them in a way that won't have negative consequences.
Nope.
Okay.
Just tried to
I'm
blow it
going
out.
to say that
Best paladin.
everyone within 5 feet of the circle, which is Shad
no.
and Spike, takes 4 hit points of damage each.
What?
I kind of went down to one knee and went, it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Our healer just killed himself with a
Nope.
terrible religion check?
No. He healed
Just down
himself.
to a knee.
Okay.
No, he was doing a flare.
I'm still upset.
Okay.
I should have gone to paladin school one more year instead of nature school.
However, as the portal that was starting to form in between the candles erupts, it splashes negative energy out over both you and Shad. Actually, you can make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can resist it.
Okay.
No.
+6 did not do me well.
No. So it was actually a DC 15 check. Sorry, guys. However, you found 6 of the dark candles once you've finished this ritual thing. You find a dark censer. You find a half pound of. Actually, no, you don't find any incense. It all seems to have been consumed in opening this gate. You also find a backpack, and in that backpack are 6 bottles of red liquid. If any of you would like to make an Arcana check, you can do so.
Sure, why not?
It's a bottle.
It's a red bottle.
Did any of you go to naturalist school? think you did, didn't you, Spike?
I got a 17.
I
Yeah.
did.
Okay, so Spike recognizes immediately that they're healing potions. Shana recognizes that they're healing potions. So there are 6 healing potions in a backpack.
I'm totally drinking like 2.
Maybe drink.
Okay.
Well, I say we each get 2.
Okay, so that's 2d4 plus 2 hit points healed per potion.
Roll. It's 2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
I shall roll as well and drink 1.
Okay, so you get 6 back with the
Ooh.
first. Shad gets 9.
You drink both of yours, Shad?
Yeah, I was really hurting.
Okay.
I might be
Um,
sturdy, but not that sturdy.
And mind you, I still have 3 from before left too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well,
Slash R,
Okay.
not R slash.
Cool.
Okay, so Andy's had 15 in total.
Hey, I'm back to full health.
Nice.
nice.
I just have a flesh wound.
Okay. Yeah, I've got like a minor scrape, but nothing too bad. All right. Is that where we're leaving it then, I guess?
Yes. So that is where we will leave this week's episode. You have, just to recap, you have headed down to the docks. You've done a few little bits and pieces of work to try and get some intelligence on the origin of this fleet. Obviously, it was from the Shoels, but you discovered that they had fled a horde of evil creatures that seemed more intent on eating them than on simply conquering them. That was somewhat uh, curious to the orcs of the Shoels, and also terrifying. It's not fun being on anyone's menu for the evening. So they tried to take ship to get away from all of that. They found themselves some weeks later in Kordash. You got that information and managed to avoid a fight from breaking out mostly. Once you announced that you were the actual people whose actions were the origin of this event, and came to the attention in doing so of one Nibs, who has sent you deep into the tunnels beneath the docks to seek out orcs who might be trying to bring the demonic presence into Kordash itself. After doing a search of the vessels that had come in and discovering some demonic paraphernalia that could be used to summon such creatures into Kordash. Given that this is a Pangaian continent, you have decided that, or you would be aware that a demonic foothold on the mainland would be a bad thing TM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for playing tonight. Thank you everyone who tuned in for doing so. Hope you enjoyed the session, and we will pick up from where we have left off at this point. So let's do a quick whip round the table. Spike, Andy, can you tell us who you are and what you do with Welcome to the Party and other stuff?
Yep. I'm Andy on Twitter at Anthony Tift. I also run wyvernswing.com. Do a little bit of the production here at WTTP with the show and Misspent Youth on Sunday evenings, and getting a couple of more projects that will hopefully be coming underway in the next few weeks.
Cool. And Shad.
My name is Shad. I am Shadamura on Twitter. I do not have much in terms of projects, but I am here every Wednesday.
Cool. Shana.
And I am Onesama-chan or Mimic Samatron on Twitter. And you can mostly find me on the Discord, but you can also find me over here every Tuesday for either the Mimic Nights on the second, fourth, and fifth Tuesday, or for No Single Thing Abides on the first and third Tuesdays of every month. So, oh, and here every Wednesday night. And then, let's see. Yeah, that's about it for me. I don't have anything else going on.
Okay. And I'm Gemma Hooper. I am a member of Welcome to the Party RPG. I am obviously DMing Welcome to Kotiset. I also play Shadowrun every second Tuesday every second Thursday with the Shadowrun group. I play lots of Dungeons and Dragons. I DM in the local Adventurers League in Adelaide, and I also make games. I've written a near future RPG called the Tome Keepers RPG, and I am also on the Twitters as Blue Jay Gliding or Antipode Yarns. All right, well, that's all. Thanks very much, and Andy, let's go find someone to raid or host.
Yeah, we won't be doing a raid yet this week. There's still some permission things that are getting taken care of, so we'll just be dropping to the schedule.